Hi there, this is Shinjini from moderngypsy.in, and I thought that I'd speak to you today a little bit about the word of the year and help you to start to find a word for yourself. So, first of all, what is a word of the year? Now, around December, a lot of people start to set resolutions and goals, and they start to think about what they want to achieve in the next or the coming year, right? So, the goal setting thing does not really work for me. Um, Resolutions, of course, we all know that we tend to set them, and um, 15 days in, they've just fallen to the wayside. So what I found helps me is having a word of the year. This is a concept that I came across roughly 10 or 11 years ago. Um, and I don't remember where I came across it, but I've been doing it since roughly 9 or 10 years now, and it's been a game changer for me. So where the resolution setting and the goal setting failed, a word of the year really helped me to create a focus point for my year and to be more intentional in terms of how I spend my time and how I think about the things that I want to achieve in a particular year. There are many ways to find your word of the year. A lot of people who talk about it say that, the word just comes to them. And this can be true. It's happened to me a lot of times. A couple of years, has happened to me where around November or December, I start to get a sense of what my word is going to be for the next year. Some people decide to pull tarot or oracle cards and look at those themes or images to spark a word for themselves, and that can be a really nice way to go as well. But while I love my tarot cards and I really enjoy divination, when it comes to choosing a word of the year, I want it to be much more intentional and in some ways aligned to some of the things that I want to achieve in the coming year. So I already said that I don't really like setting goals, and that's pretty true. I don't set goals as such. But that doesn't mean that I completely wing it, with everything that I do. I do have plans, projects, different things that I want to achieve or focus on for the coming year. I just find it a lot easier to spend some time thinking about that and then choosing a word that will help to encapsulate some of the things that I am looking to. So I created the visioning workbook, and you'll find the link to download it in the description box below. I created the visioning workbook roughly 9 years ago. This was a way for me to really reflect on the current year that was ending and to start to think about what I wanted to focus on in the coming year, and really set some intentions. So when I say intentions, what do I mean? So a goal would be something like, let's say, lose 10 kgs, right? That's a goal. But an intention would be to eat healthier and move more. So for me, that is an intention, and that works better for me. Just probably the way that my brain works, the way it's wired, I just find it easier to stick to these sort of intentions. They may or may not actually lead to the 10 kilo weight loss, but actually working on that intention, I can see how healthy I've eaten. I can track how much I've moved, how am I doing with those intentions of mine. And no matter whether or not I lose the 10 kgs, I win when I follow that intention, right? So that really motivates me a lot more than chasing that number on the weighing scale, because if it doesn't move fast enough or for some reason it stalls, it's very disappointing and it's a failed goal, and you can get really hard on yourself, at least I can. But when it's an intention and I'm intending to eat healthy and I'm intending to move more, those are things that actually lead to better fitness. And ultimately, losing 10 kilos is better fitness, right? So I'm doing these things intentionally, and that makes more sense to me. So let's talk about the visioning workbook. This workbook is divided into 3 parts. I've already started filling it in, so let's see. The first few pages really are designed to close out the year. They're a way to reflect on the year that's gone by. And then there is a section. Once we've done that, we move into another section that starts on page 11 of this workbook, which is where we start to look forward into the coming year and start to dream about what we want to happen. And from page 14 is when we actually start to set some more concrete intentions for ourselves. And this section really from page 14 until this one on page 17 is really meant to help you find your word of the year, right? So when you fill these in and you take the time to just start dreaming into the coming year and the kind of intentions that you want to set, once you've written those down and you read over those, you can start to sense certain themes and certain words that would actually be very supportive of the goals that you've written down. And from there, you can arrive at your word. So that's really the way that I approach choosing my word of the year. I am going to be sitting down and working on this myself in the coming days. And once we have our word, then the rest of this workbook really is designed. So, like I said, we have the reflection, then we start dreaming into the new year, dreaming about the kind of things that we want to invite in and call in, experience, do, create, all of that lovely stuff. And that helps us to choose a word. And now once we've chosen the word, we get even more specific in terms of what we want to do with the coming year, where we want to be, the kind of changes that we want to make. And the rest of this workbook really is designed to create clearer intentions, a clearer roadmap for you to help you actually achieve some of the intentions that you set as they relate to the word that you chose for the year. So in a way, the word of the year, instead of a goal or a resolution, it kind of becomes like this guiding North Star that kind of guides you as you choose or you plan your days, as you choose what to focus on. And then all of these questions that you would have filled in the workbook, especially the third section, so to speak, of the workbook, is really what you will use throughout the year. You'll keep coming back and revisiting it when you're setting your plans and your goals for each month, right? What are you going to focus on? What are you going to do? What projects are you going to take? What projects are you going to drop? So all of that kind of just flows out of this workbook. So so give it a try. The workbook is free to download. The link is below. Just fill it in and see how it goes, because I've heard from a lot of people over the years who have used this workbook and have found it really, really helpful, not just in terms of reflecting on the year that's gone by, but also in terms of really achieving the things that they wanted to achieve. And of course, it's been an excellent tool for myself. I've been filling it since 9 or 10 years now, and yeah, it's one of my most potent and most beautiful urine practices, really. So give it a go. And when you have a word, we're going to talk about two more things. So when you fill in the second section, which helps you to find your word of the year, you may find that you are debating between a couple of words, right? You might have a few different words that you're thinking about. You could also have a phrase. That's perfectly fine, right? Because it's ultimately something short and sweet that is your North Star for the coming year. Yeah. So if you have a couple of words, the thing that I like to do is I will go and look up the dictionary meaning of each of these words. Then I go and look at the etymology of the word. So what is the root of the word? Where did it come from? And sometimes seeing those meanings of where this word actually originated gives you a few more insights into the word and what it means, right? And then you really think about, what does that word mean to you? Because words can mean so many different things to so many people. So as an example, the word joy, right? There are a lot of people who just don't resonate with that word. They just don't like the word joy. But it does not mean that they don't have joy or that they don't experience joy. That word for them might be very different. It might be nourished, it might be happy, it might be content. I mean, the how you think about that word, what that word means to you, that is also another important thing to really consider when you're making your final choice. And as you consider these meanings of the words, right, you will find that certain words will just kind of fall away and you realize, oh, this is not the word that really encapsulates or encompasses what it is that I want to be creating this year. And you will slowly arrive at your word. You could also choose a few words. So I would not recommend more than 3. But you could choose one main word and a few supporting words for the coming year. And when you actually use your word, right, like how do you use it? What do you do with this word? I mean, a goal, you have something trackable. With a resolution, if you don't break it, again, you have something trackable. What do you do with a word? Well, with a word, what I do is a couple of different things. So I will take my word of the year, and I use Notion quite extensively. So I will make a little template for myself for the word of the year. I will put down the words, some images that encapsulate the word for me. I'll put down a few quotes, and I'll also write down a few of my main intentions, and I'll have that as a page that I can see every time that I'm on Notion. I also do a word of the year painting. That's a themed painting around my word, and I then have that as a visual reminder at my painting table, at my art table, that I can look at it and remember my word and be connected to it again. And I also put down my word along with a few of my main intentions on a little post-it note, and that goes into my weekly planner. So in this way, I am seeing my word and I'm seeing my intentions almost every day. And when I'm making my plans, when I'm deciding what to focus on, how to spend my time, where to spend my time, I'm really looking at that word as a guidance tool, right? And that's my North Star, that's my guiding star. Of course, it does happen sometimes that you will completely ignore your word, you'll forget about it, but somehow that word always comes back, right? There's this saying that words are spells and words are magical, and that's actually pretty true, because when you sit down and reflect on your year, you will realize just how much that word has actually helped you, how much you've grown with that word. You go into a word of the year, or you choose a word of the year with certain intentions in mind, with a certain outcome in mind, but you will also find that that word has taught you certain lessons that you did not expect and you did not account for. And that's the beauty and magic of choosing a word of the year. It's just so much broader and so much more encompassing than just a goal that you chase and you achieve and it's done and dusted, right? There's certain words that will probably stay with you for more than a year. So one of the first words that I had chosen as example is create. And the year that I chose create was actually, for me, off the charts in terms of creativity. Not only did I create more art, I created my newsletter that particular year. I created an ebook. I created a community in the Indian blogging world around my art and my blog. And it also just helped me to really break down certain barriers that I had, certain mental barriers as well. And those were not really part of my intention setting or my dreaming into that year. It was more about what I want to create. And, I wasn't really thinking about mindset work or healing work, but that just happened on its own. And I've noticed that happens with almost every word that I've chosen over the years. And like I said, that word create, that was a word for a particular year, but the lessons of that word and that word, the essence of that word, it continues to reverberate throughout my years, right? Some words are like that. Some words, we journey with them for a year and we move on to another word. So yeah, it's just a very beautiful practice. If you do these workbooks and you do them every year, you'll be able to see a record of how your year works for you, how your word of the year works for you. You'll be able to see just how much you have grown with each word and what kind of magic each word has woven into your own life. And I think that is really beautiful. So I hope this little workshop video was helpful for you. I hope it'll help you to choose a word for yourself, to start thinking about whether this is something that you want to incorporate into your own practice. And if you do, I'd love to hear it. If you choose a word already, or if you've chosen a word after watching this video, do drop me a comment below and tell me what your word is. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful holiday season and a wonderful new year. Bye.